Now, from Hollywood, romance. Some triangles are equilateral, some are acute, and some are eternal. Today, ours is eternal. And I guess it's acute, too. Anyway, it all adds up to a problem, and everybody's got an angle. So now, with Joyce McCluskey as Laurie, we bring you transcribed Kathleen Height's delightful story, 2 and 1 is Awful.
As an employer, he's someone I admire. He's nice, he likes people, and they like him. He's honorable, he works hard, and I work hard for him. As a man, he's thoroughly maddening. He's attractive, and he doesn't know it, so it makes him more attractive. I'm attractive, and he doesn't know it, so it makes me furious. It wouldn't be so bad, except that he goes out with me about half the time, and that wouldn't be so bad. Except that's the other half of the time he goes out with Kit. Kit's my best friend, and she's like me. She works hard for him, too. Oh, well.
You work too hard, Laurie.
Tell it to my boss. On second thought, Kit, I'll tell him myself.
Don't you trust me?
Nope.
That's what I like. A fine, firm basis for friendship. Are you really busy, or can I sit down?
He isn't here.
Oh?
Still want to sit down?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I really came to see you.
You're right. I'm not going to believe it.
I didn't expect to see him today, honestly. He is out of town, isn't he?
How'd you know?
Don't panic. He didn't tell me. Dad saw him at the club last night.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Is it?
Sure, if he was at the club, he wasn't with you.
Sometimes I think you're not on my team, old friend.
You know I'm not. And silly as it may sound, I'd like to be.
I know. I don't like what's happening to us. Oh, golly, Laurie, we've grown up together. You're better than a sister. You're my best friend.
From mud pies to Bill. We've shared a lot of messes together, haven't we? Maybe we've just got too much in common.
Well, we've never really talked about it. I think we ought to be perfectly honest, don't you?
Perfectly.
Are you really in love with Bill, Laurie?
I think I am.
I think I am, too. I was sort of hoping you might be amusing yourself or something.
I'm not even enjoying myself or something.
I know. How I know.
I'll tell you something else. Honestly.
What?
Bill isn't in love with me.
We should form a club. He isn't in love with me either.
Well, he's a fool. We're both stunning.
He doesn't deserve either of us. And he certainly doesn't deserve both of us.
That's a great comfort, isn't it?
Laurie, Bill doesn't know. He honestly doesn't know we're in love with him, unless you've told him.
Oh, I wouldn't stoop so low. Besides, he'd run like he was fired on.
Well, I've had it. I talked to Dad this morning, and he agreed. I'm taking the cure.
There's a cure?
6 weeks in the Caribbean with Aunt Martha.
Kit.
Sort of a shakedown cruise. Aunt Martha's had 4 devoted husbands. Maybe in 6 weeks some of her technique will rub off on me. And I can charm the purser or a calypso singer or a barnacle.
Kit, I don't know what to say.
Try bon voyage. And listen, sweetie. Don't waste any time thinking I'm noble or doing the splendid thing or any such nonsense. Just move in with a clear conscience.
It wasn't that simple. Kit's blessing meant a lot to me, but it took a while to clear my conscience. 2 interminable days, until Bill got back from his business trip.
Hi.
Bill! Welcome home.
Thanks. Oh, brother, am I glad to get back.
Rough trip, brother?
Oh, yep. I don't know how those guys do it. Work all day, play all night. They can have it. I'm a real homeboy.
Yeah.
You don't believe me? You know what I've been thinking these last few days?
I haven't any idea.
A farm.
Well, keen.
Not a big one, 40 acres maybe. But a place that's out of way, and I could have a little stock and a couple of horses, big garden, lots of trees, lots of room, lots of peace. Sounds crazy?
Not as crazy as it should.
You'd like it. I know you would.
I'd like it?
Sure. You remember early this fall on a Sunday we drove out in the country for the day?
Bill. The old Appleton place.
You see? You liked it. I haven't been able to get it out of my mind since. And when I was in New York, I finally figured out the gal for the place.
You did?
Uh-huh. She'd be perfect.
Would she?
I think so. Laurie, tell me the truth now. Can you think of anyone better than Mrs. Billingsley?
Mrs. Billingsley?
Yep.
Your landlady?
She's a great cook. Keeps her house shining all the time. We understand each other. She used to live on a farm,
Bill, well, she's old enough to be your mother.
What's that got to do with it? She's still got her health. Matter of fact, she's as strong as an ox.
I don't believe any of this.
Why not? Look, all I want is a housekeeper, It isn't as if I was going to ask her to marry me.
I think I'll go get some coffee.
Oh, you don't think much of the idea, huh?
I think Mrs. Billingsley is a dear. And I think you'll both be very happy.
Well, what about you?
There's a good question. What about me?
I don't understand you sometimes. I thought you'd be tickled to death. I could hardly wait to tell you, and you act like I've insulted you or something.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Oh, forget it. You don't have to be sorry. I just wanted you to like it, that's all.
Well, I would. Really, I would. Don't pay any attention to me. After all, I wouldn't have anything to say about it. Really, it'd be your farm.
Yeah, but the way I figured, you'd be spending a lot of time there. I want you to be happy.
What would I be doing there?
Same thing you do here. Type, file, Well, don't look at me like that, Laurie. I couldn't afford the office if I bought the farm.
Oh, we shared any number of tender little scenes like that while Kit was away. Some of them were even less romantic. By the time the 6 weeks were over, my conscience was so clear it made me sick. I must say that Kit's behavior was champion the entire time. Not one single picture postcard did she send him. Nothing. I went to the airport to meet her the night she arrived home, determined to find out who or what cured her. I was ill-prepared for what I found.
Passengers just landing on Caribbean Airlines Flight 21 may claim their baggage at Terminal Desk A in 10 minutes.
Kit! Aunt Martha! Over here! Kit!
Passengers just landing
Good
on
heavens,
Caribbean
what's wrong?
Airlines Flight
Laurie,
21
dear, how nice.
You're so
at Terminal Desk
pale.
A in
Kit!
10 minutes.
Aunt Martha, what's wrong with her?
Oh, jungle fever.
What?
My goodness, child, don't shout so. It's all right. Don't be concerned about me.
Oh, but I am. Here, take my arm, too, Kit.
Thank you, Laurie. You're doing marvelously, dear, marvelously. Am I? Did you come all the way to the airport alone, Laurie?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long drive. All alone.
Oh, no, it's not bad at all. Besides, who would I have come... Were you expecting someone?
Well, more or less. I mean, that is...
Of course we weren't expecting anyone, Laurie, dear.
Kit.
Please, Laurie. I mustn't get excited. It's bad for me.
You can relax, Camille.
Why, Laurie, what on earth?
Yeah, and take off the white pancake and the wan smile. It's his bowling night.
Oh, Aunt Martha.
He went bowling. After that plaintive wire I sent him?
Well, that really cracks it. Of all the unfeeling, self-important pig-head...
Hold it. Peace, girl. Desist. Is this the plaintive little wire?
You intercepted it? Laurie, I'm surprised. I'd have counted on you for higher standards. Wait a minute. The envelope's still sealed.
I never open wires addressed to Bill Reynolds personal. It came just before I left the office. He was already gone. And ho, I'd have taken it to him at the bowling alley, but I was in a hurry to meet a friend at the airport.
Now I'm really sick.
Well, it's a shame, just a shame. I've used that little ruse on 3 continents, and it's foolproof. But let's face it, Kit. We goofed.
We will return to romance and our story, 2 and 1 is Awful, in just a moment. The pounding of horses' hooves, the sound of gunfire, the smell of gunsmoke tells the story of the West a century ago. The CBS radio program called Gunsmoke dramatizes this story twice every Saturday over most of these same stations. Saturday daytimes and Saturday nights, Gunsmoke brings you adventures of a fighting marshal drawn from real-life characters of his day, whose job is to hold the frontiers against outlaws, cattle rustlers, drifters, and saddle bums. This coming Saturday, daytime and night, you're invited to 2 more in this awarded, applauded adult Western series, Gunsmoke, presented at the Star's address. And now, for the second act of Romance.
It was sort of a silent ride home from the airport. We weren't the jolliest threesome in town. Kit and I, because we realized without saying anything, we were right back where we started with Bill, which was nowhere. Aunt Martha, because she clearly wasn't used to her little ruses going awry. We remained strictly incommunicado until just before noon, a couple of days later.
Well, I bet I'm the last person in the world you expected to see.
Well, almost. Began to think maybe that jungle fever story was true.
Do you loathe me?
Nope. I like you. I'd like to hate you a little. But I think you're sort of cute.
Oh, darling, I was never cute in my life, just enterprising. As a matter of fact, I still have slight flair for enterprise. Is he, in here?
Oh, now, look, Aunt Martha, he's just a simple guy. You'd confuse him terribly.
I just want to look him over. I'd like to see the man who's ruining 2 delightful young lives.
Does Kit know you're here?
Well, of course she does.
All right. I don't know what I'm worried about. Things couldn't be much worse. Shall I announce you?
Oh, no, don't bother. I like to catch them off guard.
She still had her flair for enterprise, all right. In less than 3 minutes by the clock, they came smiling out of Bill's office and announced they were having lunch together. I didn't bother going out for lunch myself. The erasers I chewed off pencils while they were gone seemed to fill me up. Bill checked in about 3 to say he'd be making calls the rest of the afternoon. It was shortly after that Kit called.
Why don't you come for dinner, Laurie? Aunt Martha has a plan.
To poison me?
For both of us. It's nothing to talk about on the phone, but it really makes sense to me. I think it will to you, too.
All right. Right after work, okay?
Fine.
Can I bring anything?
Just an open mind.
Did you like him, Aunt Martha? You haven't really said.
Yes, I did. I must say I saw very little evidence of his fatal charm, but he seemed likable, nice.
Don't you think he's terribly attractive?
Well, no, not terribly. Attractive, though. But all this is beside the point, really, because no matter what I think of him, you two find him quite irresistible. Or so you say.
No contest.
Not the slightest.
All right. Then I have just one piece of advice, and it goes for each of you. You've got to slug it out. You've been pussyfooting around long enough.
Make her talk plain, Kit. She's your aunt.
She's just warming to her subject.
Now, look, just think a minute. What's the most important social event coming up? Anything special? Between now and the holidays?
The green and white ball.
Good, good. When is it?
2 weeks from tonight, isn't it, Kit?
Fine. Then you have something to point to. And if you're smart, you'll both start tonight. Use any method that comes to mind, fair means or foul, to get him to ask you to the ball.
But we tried that last year.
And he went duck hunting.
Ah, but this year it's going to be different because we're operating under the new rules.
If I have to contract jungle fever, I won't play.
Oh, that's kid stuff. Now, look, are you agreed that he'll probably ask one or the other of you?
Well, that's a safe presumption. Don't you think so, Laurie?
Safe enough.
All right. Then it's winner take all. After the green and white ball, one of you throws in the towel.
You mean he's making a choice between us forever when he decides which one to take to the ball?
Sounds to me more like we're making a choice between him.
Well, that's closer to it. Now, just to keep this entirely impersonal, suppose he asks girl A to the ball, then girl B will step out of the picture for good. She'll quit seeing him and take up needlepoint or pottery making or join the Foreign Legion.
But meanwhile, it's a fight to the finish.
The whole way. Well?
We had to agree, because in a ruthless sort of way, it made sense. Within 15 minutes, the battle lines were drawn, and Bill was the target, like a defenseless little city that didn't know war had been declared. At first, I almost felt sorry for him. He seemed bewildered, dizzy from the barrage of home-cooked dinners, surprise gifts, new hairstyles, and 100 little extra courtesies. But bless him, he began to thrive on it. Then a week went by, and then 10 days, and no action. I decided to switch my attack.
Hey, Laurie, come in here a minute, will you?
I'm right here at my desk if you want to see me.
What's the matter? You sick?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't look sick.
I'm not. I'm just fine. I guess I'm just tired.
You know something? I am, too. Seems to me it's been a regular merry-go-round lately. Something going on all the time.
Is that so?
If the elections weren't over, I'd think I was a favorite son candidate. All of a sudden, I can't even stir my own coffee. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe things will level off pretty soon. You know, return to normalcy.
I expect them to, as of today. That's what I wanted to see you about. Now, Laurie, while I'm gone, what I want you to do...
Gone where?
Well, you know, I told you I had to run up to the Capitol.
You did not tell me you had to run anywhere.
Take it easy. If I didn't, I meant to. Now, while I'm gone...
But you can't go now.
By golly, I think you're right.
I know I'm right.
Maybe you are sick. Look, while I'm gone, why don't you take some time off? Get a good rest.
Yeah. I've been working too hard.
Sure. I can handle everything from the Capitol. Ooh, hey, I've got to run, too. My plane leaves in 10 minutes.
I'll drive you to the airport.
No, I've got a ride, thanks.
Oh?
Kit said it was right on her way.
Swell.
But take it easy, will you, Laurie? I'll call you when I get back.
Goodbye, Bill. You beast.
Oh, hey, I almost forgot. Save Friday night, will you?
Friday?
Yeah.
Night?
Uh-huh. I'll pick you up about 8:30.
Oh, but Friday night's the green and white ball.
Well, what do you think I'm talking about? Look, I'm in an awful hurry. Just be ready at 8:30, will you?
Ready? I'm ready now. I was very nearly delirious until I remembered Kit. How would I tell her? I really didn't know. I've been so busy campaigning, I never thought about winning. Winning from Kit. Well, there was an emptiness to it. I couldn't tell her that day, and I kept putting it off. Till suddenly it was Friday, and I couldn't put it off any longer.
Funny you're coming here. I was just going to come downtown to see you.
Well, I'm glad I came to see you first. I mean, I think it's better
better this way.
But please sit down, Laurie.
No, thanks. I'd rather stand. But you go ahead. Sit down.
No, I'd rather stand, too.
Kid, it happened. Bill asked me to the ball, and naturally I accepted.
Oh, no. No, he couldn't have. He wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I am.
You'd better sit down, too, Laurie, or you'll fall flat on your face.
All right, dear. I'll sit if that'll make you feel it. What do you mean I'll fall flat on my face?
He asked me to the ball, too.
Oh, no! He couldn't have. He wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't.
I just made that speech. I'm not kidding you, sweetie. On the way to the airport the other day, he asked me. Said he'd pick me up at 8:15.
He's picking me up at 8:30. Oh, Kit, this is really the last straw. Taking both of us. Well, he can't, that's all. I'll break his stupid neck.
We'll both break his stupid neck in one deft double-barreled move.
Yeah? Yeah?
Laurie, run home, get your dress, your jewelry, and your musket. When he comes to the door tonight, we'll both meet him head on. Ready, pal?
Ready.
Hi. Oh, hey, hi. Hey, both of you, huh?
Look who's got 20/20 vision.
Old Eagle Eye.
Well, this is great. We can kill two birds with one stone.
Give him the reading, pal.
Kill one bird. 2 stones.
Hey, you guys, come on in. They're both here. Well, aren't you going to ask us in?
Us?
Sure. Jim, Fred, and me.
Jim and Fred?
Yeah.
What are they for? Protection?
What's the matter with you two? You said you'd save tonight for the dance. These guys are great dancers.
I'm going to comb my hair.
I'm going with you.
Okay, but don't be long, huh? The most beautiful...
The most beautiful man in the world. Oh, you two ready to go? You look so pretty.
Tell her, Kit. I don't trust myself.
Aunt Martha, he brought 2 friends with him. He expects us to go to the dance with them.
I know. I know. You've only yourselves to blame.
What do you mean, we're to blame?
I mean, you goofed again?
But how? My golly, we did everything but ask him ourselves.
Precisely.
Aunt Martha, you.
Who else? Oh, and make it Martha for tonight, Well, come along, girls. We mustn't keep the boys waiting.
Romance is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald with editorial supervision by Het Mannheim. You have heard 2 and 1 is Awful, specially written for Romance by Kathleen Height, starring Joyce McCluskey as Laurie, with Lynn Allen as Kit. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Vivi Janis, and Dolores Pinar. This is Hugh Douglas inviting you to hear Romance, transcribed next week at this same time. Every Saturday evening, Gangbusters brings you authentic, hard-hitting proof that crime does not pay. All the facts right out of the police files. The program names names and describes actual manhunts just as they took place. It's a Saturday evening event for adventure fans right here on CBS Radio. Don't miss Gangbusters tonight over most of these same stations. Gangbusters.
There's Western Adventure with Gene Autry Sunday evenings on the CBS Radio Network.